Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Once upon a time, three bears lived in a little house in the woods. There was Father Bear, Mother Bear, and Baby Bear. Mother Bear had made porridge for breakfast. She poured it into a great big bowl, a medium-sized bowl, and a tiny bowl. But the porridge was too hot, so the three bears went for a walk while it cooled off. A little girl named Goldilocks was walking in the woods. When she found the three bears' house, she smelled the porridge and crept inside. First she tried the porridge in the great big bowl, but it was too hot. Next, she tried the porridge in the medium-sized bowl, but it was too cold. Then she tried the porridge in the tiny bowl. It was just right, so she ate it up all. When she had finished, Goldilocks felt very full, so she decided to sit down. First she sat in the Father Bear's great big chair, but it was too high. Next she sat in the Mother Bear's medium-sized chair, but it was too wide. Next she sat in the Baby Bear's tiny chair. It was just right, but Goldilocks was too heavy, and the chair broke. Goldilocks climbed the stairs to the bear's bedroom. First she lay down in the Father Bear's big great bed, but it was too hard. Next she lay in the Mother Bear's medium-sized bed, but it was too soft. Then she lay down in the Baby Bear's tiny bed. It was just right. Goldilocks fell fast asleep just as the bears returned, sat down for breakfast. "Someone's been eating my porridge," cried Father Bear. "Someone's been eating my porridge," cried Mother Bear. "Someone's been eating my porridge," cried Baby Bear, "and they've eaten it all up." Father Bear went to sit in his great big chair. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," cried Father Bear. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," cried Mother Bear. "Someone's been sitting in my chair," cried Baby Bear, and they have broken it. The three bears went up to their bedroom. "Someone's been sleeping in my bed," cried Father Bear. "Someone's been sleeping in my bed," cried Mother Bear. "Someone's been sleeping in my bed," cried Baby Bear, "and she's still here." Goldilocks woke up and saw the three bears. She was so startled that she jumped out of the bed and ran all the way home, never to come back. Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, Little Red Riding Hood lived with her mother in a cottage in the woods. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother sent her to visit her sick grandmother. She had not walked far when a wolf jumped out at her. Little Red Riding Hood was scared, but the wolf smiled and asked her where she was going. "To visit my grandmother," she replied. "And where does your grandmother live, my dear?" asked the wolf kindly, too kindly. "She lives in the house in the middle of the woods," said Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf bounded away out of the sight and did not stop until he had reached the house in the middle of the woods. Once there, the wolf knocked on the door. A voice inside called out, "Who is it?" "It is I, grandmother," Little Red Riding Hood. "Come in, my dear," grandmother called. The wolf opened the door, leapt in, and roared out at Red Riding Hood's grandmother. She was so scared that she jumped out of the bed and hid in a closet. A little while later, Little Red Riding Hood reached her grandmother's house and knocked on the door. A gruff voice inside called out, "Who is it?" "It is I, grandmother, Little Red Riding Hood." "Come in, my dear," called the voice. Little Red Riding Hood opened the door and stepped in. The wolf was sitting in the bed wearing grandmother's nightgown. "What big ears you have, grandmother," Little Red Riding Hood examined. "All the better to hear you with," the wolf replied. "What big eyes you have, grandmother," Little Red Riding Hood exclaimed. "All the better to see you with," the wolf replied. "And what big teeth you have, grandmother," Little Red Riding Hood cried. "All the better to eat you with," the wolf sneered. He was just about to swallow Little Red Riding Hood when a friendly woodcutter heard the commotion and ran into the house. The wolf was so startled that he leapt out of the grandmother's bed and ran away into the woods. He was never seen again. "Help! Help!" cried a small voice from the closet. The woodcutter opened the closet door, and out fell Little Red Riding Hood's grandmother, scared but safe. The woodcutter helped grandmother back into bed. Then he walked Little Red Riding Hood through the woods to her mother's cottage just in time for supper. The moral of the story tells us never to speak to strangers on the way in the woods. Puss in Boots. Once upon a time, there lived an early miller with 3 sons. When the miller died, he left his beloved cat to his youngest son. The boy did not believe that the cat would be of any use to him, but the cat said, "Give me a sack and a pair of boots, and I shall bring you luck. You may call me Puss in Boots." Early the next day, Puss strode out of the mill house carrying a sack and wearing a fine pair of boots. Puss filled his sack with lettuce. When the rabbit saw the lettuce in the sack, he crept in, and Puss closed the sack tight. Off he ran to the king's castle to give him the special gift. "Your Majesty, I come bearing a gift from my master," Puss in Boots declared. "Who is your master?" the king asked Puss. "He is the Marquis." "Your Majesty," Puss lied. "Do thank him kindly for his gift," said the king. Puss bowed and left the castle. Early the next day, Puss strode out to the mill house, carrying his sack and wearing a fine pair of boots. Puss filled his sack with grain. When the 2 fat peasants saw the grain, they crept in, and Puss closed the sack tight. Off he ran to the king's castle to give him this special gift. "Your Majesty, I come bearing a gift from my master," Puss declared. "Well, do thank him kindly for his gift," said the king. Puss bowed and left the castle. One day, Puss and the miller's son went down to the river. Puss saw the king riding in his carriage with his daughter. He told his master to get into the water while he hid the boy's clothes behind a tree. The boy was bathing in the river when the king rode by. "Help!" Puss cried out. "The Marquis is drowning, and someone has stolen his clothes." The king jumped out of his carriage to save the boy. "Now come along with me," the king said. The boy climbed into the carriage beside the king's beautiful daughter, and they set off. Puss ran ahead to a castle belonging to an ogre. "Tell the king that this castle belongs to the Marquis, ordered Puss in Boots, or you shall be locked up. No, I would rather turn myself into a dragon and burn down the castle, the ogre cried, for I can turn myself into any creature, great or small. Can you turn yourself into a lion? asked Puss. Yes, said the ogre, and he turned into a mighty lion. Into a mouse? asked Puss. Yes, said the ogre, and he turned into a tiny mouse. Puss jumped upon him and ate him whole. So the king arrived in his cottage, bringing his daughter and the miller's son with him. They made a handsome young couple, and the king was impressed by the charming boy. He was more impressed when Puss told him that the castle belonged to the Marquis. The miller's son was glad that Puss had brought him good fortune, and he asked the king's daughter to marry him. They all lived happily ever after in the ogre's castle, and Puss, who never caught another creature, always wore his fine pair of boots. The Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, three little pigs set out to seek their fortune. Beware of the big bad wolf, their mother warned them as they set off into the woods. Very soon they met a man carrying a bundle of straw. May I have some straw to build a house? asked the first little pig. Certainly, said the man, and the little pig set to work. The other two pigs walked on through the woods. Very soon, the two little pigs met a man carrying a bunch of sticks. May I have some sticks to build a house? asked the second little pig. Certainly, said the man, and the little pig set to work. The third little pig wandered alone until he met a man pulling a cartload of bricks. May I have some bricks to build a house? asked the pig. Certainly, said the man, and the little pig set to work. The big bad wolf was lurking in the woods when he came across the house of straw. Through the window he saw the first little pig. Little pig, let me come in. Not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin, cried the pig. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down, said the big bad wolf. So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down, and the first little pig ran squealing through the woods to his brother's house of bricks. Next the wolf found the house of sticks. Through the window he saw the second little pig. Little pig, let me come in. Not by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down, said the big bad wolf. So he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down. The second little pig ran squealing through the woods to his brother's house of bricks. When the wolf reached the house of bricks, he peered through the window and saw all three little pigs together. Little pigs, let me come in. The wolf huffed. Not by the hairs on our chinny chin chins, he cried. The wolf huffed and puffed, but he couldn't blow the house down, so he climbed up onto the roof. The wolf was going to climb down the chimney to catch the three little pigs, but the little pigs had a plan too. They pushed a cooking pot onto the fire just as the wolf fell down the chimney. Splash! He fell into the boiling water. That was the end of the big bad wolf. The three little pigs lived happily ever after, safe in the house of bricks. The moral of the story is, united we stand, divided we fall. As long as the pigs were together, They were living happily ever after. Today we are going to read a story on copycat monkeys. An old man was selling caps in the market. When he felt tired, he sat under a mango tree and slept. There were many naughty monkeys swinging on the mango tree. When they saw the old man sleeping, they quietly came down, tiptoe, tiptoe. They took all the caps away. The old man got upset to see his basket empty. He looked up and saw the monkeys wearing his colorful caps. He tried many tricks to get his cap back, but the monkeys were very smart. They did not return the caps. Soon the old man found out that the monkeys were copying him. This gave him an idea. He took out a cap from his pocket and put it on. The monkeys did the same. The old man was smart too. He threw the cap down. The monkeys also threw the caps down. The old man quickly picked up all his caps and ran away fast. He shouted, "You naughty monkeys! You are copycats, copycats, copycats!" Thank you. Today we are going to read a story on Mc Stuffins. Why the sad face, Susie Sunshine? Susie certainly didn't look like her usual cheerful self. Thankfully, Dr. Mc Stuffins is there. It's time for a checkup. With the help of her doctor tools, doctor is sure to come up with a proper diagnosis. She'll fix Susie right up and have her ready to go in no time. Look who Doctor is wheeling in. Chilly, Stuffy, and Lambie. They've been playing outside in the yard all day and are all tuckered out. Now they need some time to recharge. Dr. Mc Stuffins knows that a nap is just what they need. When they wake up, they'll have plenty of energy and will be feeling zippy again in no time. Rhonda's injured herself in the line of duty. Her holiday rotor isn't spinning like it should, and she can't fly to anyone's rescue like that. Doctor is checking her out to see what can be done. Hallie, Lambie, and Stuffy are there to help too. With helping friends everywhere, Rhonda is sure to be happy and healthy again in a flash. Stuffy wasn't feeling well earlier, but he's much better now. Doctor did a quick checkup and sure enough, Stuffy had niditis, with hands that hug and a heart that cares. Dr. Stuffins took good care of Stuffy and prescribed a hug. Now Stuffy is back on his feet again with a happy heart and a big smile. Thanks, Doctor. Dr. Stuffins is taking care of Lanny. First, she checks his heartbeat. Everything's normal. After a closer look, doctor has a diagnosis. Lenny has dried out tortoise. He hasn't been drinking enough water. Did you know you have to drink way more than you think? Soon Engine 9 will be feeling fine. Thank you. Today we are going to read a story on Olafs' Frozen Adventure. It was Aranda's first holiday season in forever for Elsa and Anna. The sisters had planned a surprise holiday party for all the townspeople, and Olive was helping them prepare. Everyone in Arundel was excited for Kristoff and Steven to ring the jewelry bell, signaling the start of the holiday season. But as the bell rang, the townspeople all went home instead of to the party. Each family had their own holiday tradition, all except Elsa and Anna. Kristoff tried to cheer up Elsa and Anna by serenading them with the Ballad of Lemmingrad. Then Kristoff introduced them to another troll tradition, licking Flammy, the fungus troll. Steven was excited, but the two sisters laughed. Olaf felt bad that everyone in Arendelle had a holiday tradition except Elsa and Anna. With help from Steven, Olaf set off to find the best holiday tradition in Arendelle. Olaf and Steven stopped at home to learn about each family's holiday tradition. Back at the castle, Elsa found Anna in the attic, looking through old boxes and trunks. She was so upset that the sisters didn't have a holiday tradition and felt that it was all her fault. Just then Anna turned to Elsa, holding a little box full of drawings of Olaf. Olaf was the first snowman Elsa had ever made. From then on, Anna would draw a picture of Olaf to slide under Elsa's door every holiday. Olaf was what had kept the sisters connected, even when they were apart. Olaf and Steven returned to the castle discouraged. They hadn't been able to find a special holiday tradition for Elsa and Anna. All of a sudden, Elsa had a brilliant idea. With a little help from Olaf, they would be able to find a special celebration after all. Elsa made a beautiful ice tree and made a special star for Olaf to place at the top. Arendelle had a new holiday tradition, and Anna and Elsa had found their own special holiday tradition, all thanks to Olaf. Today we are going to read a story on a little girl named Zaffran. In a beautiful bright valley lived a little girl called Zaffran. She lived in a small hut with her mother, who worked in the nearby saffron fields. Zaffran loved the saffron flowers and the butterfly which fluttered around them. One day, Zaffran and her mother went into the fields to pick some of the very special flowers. As her mother picked the flowers, Zaffran pretended to be a butterfly. She fluttered through the flowers, and as she fluttered, she sang to herself, "Pretty little butterfly, can I fly with you? Over the lovely flowers, over the river blue. Pretty little butterfly, can I fly with you?" Suddenly, Zaffran stopped and looked around. There were no saffron flowers and no butterflies. Zaffran did not know where she was. "Which way?" thought Zaffran. "Which way is home?" Tears began to trickle down her face as she thought about being lost. And just as she thought that she was lost forever, never find her mother, and never see her home again, that someone grabbed her arm. Zaffran tried to pull her arm free, but just then she felt herself being lifted and turned around to face the most beautiful face in the world, Mother. Thank you. The Nightingale. Long ago, there lived a noble emperor in China. His magnificent palace and the beautiful royal gardens were well known. Every day, travelers from many distant places came to see them. Beyond the royal gardens, there was a deep forest. A nightingale lived in that forest. She had a beautiful voice. Her melodious songs never failed to enchant the wearied travelers. One evening, while reading a traveler's account who had visited his empire, the emperor read about the nightingale. Surprised, he called his prime minister and inquired about the nightingale. "I know nothing about this bird, Your Majesty," said the Prime Minister. "Find the bird and bring it to my court by today evening," the Emperor commanded. The troubled Prime Minister asked every courtier and soldier about the nightingale, but no one had ever heard of the bird. At last, a kitchen maid said, "The nightingale lives in the forest. I have often heard it singing." When the Prime Minister heard this, he said, "Take me to the nightingale at once, and you will be rewarded lavishly." So the next morning, the maid took the Prime Minister and a few soldiers to the forest. After walking for a while in the forest, suddenly the maid pointed to a little bird singing on a bough. Singing happily, the maid cried out, "There she is singing!" The Prime Minister and the soldiers were delighted to hear the nightingale's beautiful song. When the nightingale stopped singing, the Prime Minister said, "Little nightingale, the emperor has invited you to come and sing at his court this evening." "I will surely come," said the nightingale politely. In the evening, the nightingale came to the court. She sat on a golden perch and sang melodiously. She sang so sweetly that it brought tears to the emperor's eyes, and the courtiers were enchanted. Delighted, the king rewarded her with a golden slipper. But she refused politely and said, "Your Majesty, I have seen tears in your eyes. That is the greatest reward I could have got." The emperor requested the nightingale to stay at his court, and she agreed. He placed her in a golden cage and ordered the servant to take care of the little bird. One day, the emperor received a present from the Emperor of Japan. It was a beautiful artificial nightingale studded with diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. To the emperor's surprise, the artificial bird sang just like the real nightingale. "The two birds must sing together," he said. But it did not go well. The real nightingale sang in her own way, while the artificial bird sang only waltz. Soon the artificial bird was singing alone tirelessly for the court. One day, when the court was enjoying the sound of the artificial nightingale, the real nightingale flew away into the forest unnoticed. When the emperor discovered this, he was very angry and banished her from his empire. Soon everyone forgot about the bird. The emperor and the court entertained themselves by listening to the artificial nightingale. One evening, when the emperor was listening to the artificial bird, suddenly someone inside it went whiz, and the music stopped. Troubled, the emperor called a clockmaker. The clockmaker checked the bird and said, "Your Majesty, the bird's barrels are worn out. As it cannot be mended, the bird will never sing again." A few years passed by. One day, the emperor fell sick. As he lay cold and pale in his bed, everyone thought that he would not live. In the emperor's room, a window remained open by his bedside, and the artificial bird was kept near his bed. One night, the emperor felt a strange weight on his chest. He woke up and he saw the Death sitting there. Death had worn the emperor's golden crown, held his sword and his banner in his hands. All around the bed hovered many faces, some ugly and some pleasing. These faces were the emperor's good and bad deeds. They stared at the emperor and asked questions one after another. Someone, please play some music. I do not want to hear what they are saying, the emperor cried out. Suddenly, a sweet music filled the room. Outside on the bough of a tree sat the real Nightingale singing. She had heard of the emperor's illness and had come to sing for him. As she sang, the strange faces started disappearing. The emperor's weak limbs were strengthened again. Enchanted by the nightingale's song, Death too floated out of the open window in the form of a cold, white mist. Thank you, little nightingale, said the emperor. I had banished you from my kingdom, yet you have saved my life. I do not know how to reward you. The tears in your eyes when I first sang to you was my reward, said the nightingale. Sleep well now, your majesty. The next morning, when the emperor woke up, he saw the nightingale still sitting on the bough. Please stay with me, he pleaded. I cannot. I will come and sing to you every day, but do not tell anyone about this, said the nightingale, and flew away. Soon the servant entered the emperor's room, only to see him healthy and smiling. Thank you. Today we are going to read some nursery rhymes on Golden Age. Pussycat, 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 where have you been? I've been to London to look at the Queen. Pussycat, pussycat, what did you do there? I frightened the little mouse under the chair. Hickory dickory dock, hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck one, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. Three blind mice, three blind mice, three blind mice. See how they run, see how they run. They all run after the farmer's wife who cut off their head with a curling knife. Did you ever see such a thing in your life as three blind mice? Three blind mice. Little Tommy Tucker, little Tommy Tucker sings for his supper. What shall he eat? Why, bread and butter. How shall he cut it without any knife? How shall he marry without any wife? Wee Willie Winkie. Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown, rapping at the window, crying through the lock. Are the children all in bed? For now it's 8 o'clock. Thank you. Hello children. Today let's read some nursery rhymes from Golden Age. There was an old woman. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread. Then she whipped them all soundly and put them to bed. Batter cake, batter cake. Batter cake, batter cake. Baker's man, bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it and break it and mark it with B. Put it in the oven for baby and me. Polly had a dolly. Polly had a dolly who was sick, sick, sick. She called for the doctor to come quick, quick, quick. And the doctor came with a hat and a bag. And he knocked on the door with a rat-a-tat-tat. He looked at the Polly and he shook his head. And he said, Miss Polly, put her straight to bed. He took out a paper to write a bill. I'll be back in the morning with my bill, bill, bill. I will be back in the morning with my bill, bill, bill. Peas porridge. Peas porridge hot, peas porridge cold. Peas in the pot, 9 days old. Some like it hot, some like it cold. Some like it in the pot, 9 days old. Little Bo Peep. Little Bo Peep who lost her sheep and doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone and they will come home, wagging their tails behind them. Children, come on, let's read some nursery rhymes from Golden Age. Two little dicky birds. Two little dicky birds sitting on a wall. One named Peter, the other named Paul. Fly away, Peter, fly away, Paul. Come back, Peter, come back, Paul. Traffic lights. Red light, what do you say? I say stop, and stop right away. Yellow light, what do you say? I say start, and start right away. Green light, what do you say? I say go, and go right away. Thank you, red, yellow, green. Now I know what traffic light means. Little Jack Horner. Little Jack Horner sat in the corner, eating his Christmas pie. He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, what a good boy am I. Ride a cock horse. Ride a cock horse to Banbury Cross to see a fair lady upon a white horse. Ring on a finger and bells on a toe. She shall have music wherever she goes. Thank you.